if memory serves me right, there were 21 German gun installations along the shore of France, along the Sherbet Peninsula there. And they were laying it on heavily, and our people were doing what they could from the ships. And from planes, they were dropping shells as well.
What did it sound like?
Well, you can imagine, if you looked up in the sky today, and the sky was full of planes.
Now you joined the Navy?
Yep.
Yep. At the armories in Hamilton?
Yep.
Okay.
And we were on the West Coast, and we got put on passenger ships out there for training. But I went to Halifax, and the first day I landed there, I got drafted aboard the Thunder. And that's where I stayed at my time in the war.
The Thunder itself was a minesweeper, correct?
That's right.
What does a minesweeper do?
We would go out on patrol.
Okay.
We would have an area that we would sweep. And if we picked up mines, the cutters would cut those chains on there and bring them to the surface, whereupon we would sink them. Anytime they were brought to the surface, our guys, our gunners, were supposed to have target practice, you see. They were supposed to sink these mines, but they couldn't resist hitting the pins on it, so they'd blow. When those things blew, they really made a rocket. That's when you really heard a rocket. Well, all the time I was on that ship, virtually right from the beginning, I was running the ship.
Now you said there was a big build-up with arms, ships, trucks, all coming into all these ports.
The whole southern part of England, prior to that invasion, every road heading for the shoreline, you'd see trucks on. Trucks, trucks, trucks. Army trucks, of course. They were just all over the south coast of England, everywhere. They left the shoreline. I can't even remember the name of the harbor that we were in that night. But we left anyway to start the invasion, and it was too rough. They turned around and went back that night because it was too rough for the landing craft. So then the invasion started the next day. And it went. Once they started, they went. You wouldn't believe there were that many ships, if you want to call them, their landing craft, in the world. They were just all over the place. They were everywhere. British minesweeper had picked up a mine and it discharged it. When it discharged it, it shifted all the coal bunker on that British sweeper and shifted all us guys who were down there for lunch. And you can figure 14 guys trying to get out a 4-foot hole in the deck at one time, all over top of one another, any other way, just let me out of here. But I was standing on our quarterdeck, watching all this, seeing the big guns fired, and coming up alongside us and then falling behind us was an American destroyer. They hit that destroyer, they killed 14 men on there, and they wiped the center gun turret right off the deck, blew it right off the deck. That was no more than a couple of 100 feet behind us. These battle wagons that were with us, one of those ships was the battleship that Churchill and Stalin had a meeting, I believe, off the coast of France. And it was on that battleship. And it was a brand new one. It was a beauty. You could hear the shells going overhead.
Mm-hmm.
You could see them land on shore. It was an odd feeling, if you will, because these landing craft were all going past us. They were traveling a lot faster than we were. They were going past us, and they were full of men. And you thought these guys were almost certainly going to their death, because they were all jammed into these landing craft, and then when they'd hit the shore, they'd have to jump out of there into the water, and I guess over half of them, I don't know how many, but I guess over half of them would be killed right off the bat. You can't believe how many landing craft were right there, like we're sailing through them. They're sailing to the shore, we're sailing to them. And sitting out behind us, between them and the shoreline, were the battleships laying down a barrage on the shore, like that's for our boys landing. I believe it was Omaha Beach they landed on. They had this half-German battalion trapped on the Sugar Peninsula. And we went in there with a task force on the Sunday morning. I think it was the 25th. This task force consisted of 2 battleships, 2 cruisers, 6 destroyers, and 2 minesweepers. The job was to go in there and lay out whatever kind of barrage we could. These gun installations that they had, they were a concrete gun placement, and they had those all the way along the shore there. They started in Holland,
Yeah.
and they built all the way up through France. And they had built all these pillboxes. I was ashore one night. I meet a guy that used to be on our ship. And I said, "What are you on?" He says, "The Port Colborne." I said, "Good God, is our cook still on there?" I got them to bring me some bread from his ship, and I brought it aboard our ship. That was the only way you could get any white bread over there. The stuff they used to make in England during the war was what we call black bread, and boy, it was awful stuff. Unless you saw this happening, it's hard to believe, unless you actually saw it.